Oh yeah, I love this stuff. I actually had a guy email me just today. He just watched one of my YouTube videos. He hasn't even taken that course, but he just watched one of my YouTube videos on how to charge for mixing, and less than a week later, he booked $1,700 worth of mixing gigs for
Wow.
next month.
Awesome.
So yeah, so it's so much easier now to have a side business doing this than ever before. So it's a great time for your listeners to even consider this. All you really need is you need to develop a portfolio and develop a simple website where you can sell your services. And you got to, and so I always tell people there's something I call the freelance arc. And maybe this will be helpful to your listeners, but
Sure.
there's, imagine like an arc, like, curving, and you kind of start on the left side at the bottom. And this is where you've never charged for anything and you're just getting started. The first thing you got to do is do a bunch of free work.
Yeah.
And this is good for you, not because you're not worth charging for. It's because the free work takes some of the pressure off of you because you're probably insecure about charging. But what it allows you to do is build a portfolio. So you're strategic about your free work. You don't just do free work for anybody and everybody. You do free work for people who you think are really good and who would appreciate you throwing them a deal by saying, hey, I'm just trying to build my portfolio. I'd love to mix one of your songs or record one of your tracks. And the trade is that I'll give you, a track or a recording or a mix, and you're giving me the opportunity to work on my craft. So I do want to take it seriously. I want to put it in the calendar. We do need to prepare, but the payment is not monetary, let's say. And so you pick strategic artists that you think are talented and good. They'll make you sound good because your mixes are only as good as the artist you're working on. You could of course do some of your own music, but you get experience and you build a portfolio. So then you can start charging. And this is the scariest point for some people. They never leave free land. They're afraid to start charging. And the question I get is, how much do you charge? How much do you charge, Graham? Although I can't answer that specifically for you, I always tell people, well, think about what you make per hour at your job right now. If you're salaried, you break it down per hour based off how many hours you work in a week. What are you really worth at your job per hour? And unless you're a very specialized profession like a medical doctor or a lawyer or something like that, you should probably charge more than what you get paid at your job right now per hour.
Why is that?
And I would say the logic is because if you're going to record a band, you're not just an employee of a company just filling a spot, answering a phone, flipping a burger, driving a truck. I'm not trying to say those are only jobs. I'm saying you have a specialized skill. You can record and mix music. That's a skill that's worth more than just what you would be paid somewhere. Again, unless you're doing some highly specialized work. So like if you're making $10 or $15 an hour at your job right now, I would say charge 20 or 25 an hour to record or mix. Charge something that shows, because you've got a cost of equipment. You had to buy the equipment. You had to gain experience, and then you're providing a specialized service. So those three things, and you're going to have to, of course, pay taxes and all kinds of stuff. So people usually undercharge because they're insecure, afraid. And two things happen, Sam, when you undercharge. This is important too, is when you undercharge, when you're just the cheap guy in town because you think that's how you'll get clients, people don't take you seriously.
Exactly. And it devalues your work.
It does. But it's so hard for people to step off that ledge and say, okay, I'm just going to charge more, because the fear is you won't get any clients. But you'll get the right clients, and then you'll make enough money for your time. So I think, go from free to charging something, and then quickly you're probably going to have to raise your rates because still people undercharge. They're too afraid. And then it goes from there. Like every year I'm reevaluating what I'm charging based off of, is everybody booking me? If anyone that's interested, and I give them my rates and they say yes. If everybody says yes, I'm not charging enough, You should never have a 100% booking rate because you're not going to be the good fit for everybody. But the beautiful thing is if you're a bedroom producer right now, is don't look at yourself as a bedroom producer. Don't look at your environment. Don't look at your age. None of those things matter. That's being so narcissistic or inward focused. Look at your potential client. What do they want? Think about what they need, and find a way to give them what they need. That's where your value comes from. So if you find someone who's really talented and you're afraid that they're going to think you're a nobody, then ignore those weaknesses and instead focus on, hey, look, I listened to your music. I think it's really, really good. I like what you did on this recording, but I think your style could benefit from this, this, and this. And I think I could bring something to your music. I'd love to chat with you on Skype about some things we could do here. And we could maybe even work something out initially where I could do a track for you where the recording is free and then you just pay me for the mix or something if you want to do a trial or something. But you just show that you're thinking about them and creating their music and making it sound good, and then they'll trust you more instead of saying, look at me, I have this kind of equipment and I've been recording for this many years. Nobody cares about that stuff. They care about themselves and their music, and if you could be others focused, you will be able to easily get some clients. It's something that's happening every month or every other month, and that's a nice thing to have on the side using a skill set you already have.